Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us. My name is Adele Reynolds, and I'm a school board liaison for Let's Talk Science. I'm here with my colleague, Leah de Cicco Remu, who is also a school board liaison. And we're going to share with you all of the fun and educational resources that Let's Talk Science has to offer you this fall. We're also joined with our colleague, Tiffany Bahento, who is a program coordinator. She will help us manage the Q&A and chat.
So hi everybody, I'm Leah and I'm new here to Let's Talk Science, and it's really great to be here as an educator to see everything that we have to offer you guys. So before we chat about our fall offerings at Let's Talk Science, we'd like to acknowledge that Let's Talk Science is committed toward meaningful reconciliation. We believe acknowledging the traditional territory where we work and live is a small but very important step in this process. It reminds us to learn more about our Indigenous peoples in all regions throughout Canada. So in that spirit, Adele, Tiffany, and I would like to acknowledge that the land on which we are situated here today in Toronto, Ontario, is part of the traditional territories of the Anishinaabe, the Mississaugas of the Credit Nation, the Haudenosaunee, and the Huron-Wendat. We encourage each of you to reflect on where you live and work and how we can all contribute to reconciliation.
So before we dive into our offerings, we would like to share a little bit about Let's Talk Science with those of you who are new to us. So Let's Talk Science is an award-winning national charitable organization that has provided engaging evidence-based STEM programs and resources for over 25 years, almost 30, at no cost for Canadian students and educators. So in a world increasingly driven by innovation, the demand for people who can fill science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, STEM, related jobs will only continue to increase, but the reality is that most Canadian students disengage from STEM courses before graduating high school. So that's why we're here. So Let's Talk Science's mission is to help children and youth fulfill their potential, prepare for their future careers, and become engaged citizens in a rapidly changing world by supporting their learning and engagement through STEM.
So let's talk about what makes Let's Talk Science unique. Our robust suite of offerings are available at no cost. Seriously, everything here is free to students or educators, thanks to our generous donors. We wouldn't be here without them. Our organization is bilingual, so most of our offerings are available in English and French. So they're also available in both online and in-person format. And guess what? They're curriculum aligned. So again, as an educator, this is what totally blew me away, and I couldn't believe that it was so fantastic. So now we would like to share an at-a-glance view of our programming and resources for both students and educators.
Yep.
There we go. Sorry. So both students and educators, as you can see on the slides, and then we'll go over a bit more in detail for each one. Our student programming offers a volunteer outreach program, national STEM projects, and a variety of fun virtual and in-person events. As for educators, we offer a lot of professional learning opportunities, access to curriculum-aligned educational resources, virtual and in-person events. So hang on, this is going to be a lot to unpack, but we're here to help you sort through it. So in addition to our volunteer outreach and from our local outreach sites, we also offer national programming. So this is a little different. So our local outreach, you make an appointment with a volunteer, and then they'll accommodate you in terms of where you want to have that in your classrooms. For our national program, which is available to students across Canada, these are virtual events that have preset dates. Preset date and times where educators can join live at the same time nationwide. So that's kind of cool to connect your kids to students across the country, and that can kickstart some discussion and engagement at that level as well.
So quick snapshot now of our volunteer outreach program from the outreach sites. So this program is at the heart of our organization. It is a national community-based program that connects students and educators with our Let's Talk Science volunteers. So our volunteers act as role models for students so that students can see themselves in STEM. So our volunteers offer meaningful hands-on STEM activities to students in the classroom, either in person or virtually. So our amazing volunteers are, in case you're wondering who our volunteers are post-secondary students with STEM education backgrounds. They are trained by Let's Talk Science before they visit any classrooms. So we have volunteers in over 55 outreach site locations across Canada. Outreach sites are colleges and universities that we've partnered with to connect them with local school boards. Okay, so then Leah, you've already introduced the national programming. So our national programming is where educators and students can join at the same time, live nationwide, which is different from the outreach sites that we were just talking about, where you can book a date and time to have volunteers visit your classrooms in person or virtually. So now I'm just going to give you a quick overview of some of our programming. So before I jump into the programming, I just want to mention to everyone to please use the Q&A function if you have any questions, or save your questions for the Q&A portion of the presentation. We'll have a few minutes at the end to answer some of your questions. And we will also provide a web link in the chat with the programming that we will be presenting to you. So here are some examples of our national events that we offer to students that they can participate nationally and virtually. So the first one is called STEM Storytime. So you can see the grades are on each of these slides. So the first one is for K-3, and it's called STEM Storytime. So during these events, a Let's Talk Science volunteer will read a story and then lead a simple hands-on activity that relates to the story afterwards. So some examples of STEM Storytime for the fall season include the butterfly life cycle, rockets, and the solar system. So those will be fun. Next, we have STEM Club, which is a virtual club that meets weekly to engage students in hands-on STEM activities. So the sessions also include special guests who either study or work in STEM. So this season, the activities are curriculum aligned, yay! So that should be helpful with your planning. Mm-hmm. The second cohort for STEM Club begins on November 8th and 9th. So please note there's one other piece to this Let's Talk Science STEM Club, is that we are offering limited free materials for educators who support equity deserving youth in schools in need. And the first 250 eligible classes to apply will receive free digital literacy equipment for their classroom. That's exciting, so please check that out. Yeah. So next, we have Curious Careers. So this is a STEM career exploration series offered once a month for 3 months. So panelists, including post-secondary students and industry professionals, will share their career journeys in STEM. For the fall session, we have High Achievers, Aerospace and Space. So those careers will be discussed this month. In November, we will have a session called Climate Change Makers. Looking forward to that one for sure. And then in December, we will have a session called Our Digital World. So hopefully you will join us for some of those sessions. Next, we have the Let's Talk Science Challenge. So this event will be in full swing in the spring, but we wanted to mention it here today since registration opens on November 1st. So we just want to put that on your radar. The challenge is a team-based competitive event for students in grades 6 to 8. The competition includes an exciting question and answer competition, as well as a hands-on engineering challenge.
Adele, now that I've got all the slides lined up properly and I'm on the same page as you, what do we have for high school students? Because I was a K-8 teacher and I see a lot of stuff, but what do we got going on for high school?
Yeah, so we have exciting symposiums for high school students. So our symposiums connect high school students to experts and volunteers across Canada, and they will discuss relevant STEM topics as well as career pathways. And students can also ask questions to the experts. So coming up in the fall, we're very excited to share that our next Visionary Symposium will feature a keynote from special guest speaker, Canadian astronaut Jeremy Hansen. So this symposium will be live on October 20th and will feature a multidisciplinary panel of space scientists that will highlight the first Artemis launch, which will start a series of missions that returns humans to the moon. And I'm pretty sure we've all seen that on the news recently, so we're part of that. So before we move on to our next student offerings, I would just like to mention that we do offer recordings for most of our student events. So please sign up even if you cannot make a live event.
So Adele, one of the things that really wows me about Let's Talk Science are the national STEM projects. Can we talk a bit about those and what's new for the fall? Because I know teachers have really used these and continue to use them, and there's some new stuff coming down that's really, really cool. So
for sure. So these projects are hands-on experiments where students build their inquiry and problem-solving skills as they learn to do real science and contribute to national databases. So we have some fun and educational projects that focus on space and others that focus on climate science. So for our space projects, we have our classic projects like Tomatosphere and Living Space, as you can see here on the slide. If any of you would like to learn more about these two projects, please feel free to reach out to me or Leah. because we do want to focus on some of our projects for this fall. I will just mention that the registration for Living Space will open later this fall, as we are currently ordering more data collection tools that we may be able to offer for your classrooms. So stay tuned for Living Space registration. Okay, so our next space project, which is new for the fall, we're very excited about it, as we hope you will be as well. So rather than go into the description right away, I just wanted to share a quick introductory video with you. Let's have a look.
In the not so distant future, Canada will put a rover on the moon. Your class can be a part of that journey for free. Win the chance to control this lunar rover. Their mission is to submit a plan on how they would seek out hidden lunar ice deposits and pitch their plan to a panel of judges. Do you accept the Lunar Rover Research Challenge?
I hope you heard the audio there. You could hear it, right? Okay. So this project is called the Lunar Rover Research Challenge. And in this project, students will work as a team to develop a mission plan for lunar exploration that will be judged by a panel of experts. And you can see there's for grades 6 to 9. So students can then win a chance for their class to control a Canadensis lunar rover prototype in a simulated mission on the moon. So please note that registration for the fall session closes on October 23rd. But this project will be available again in the spring. But again, just put it on your radar. This registration for the fall session closes on October 23rd.
Yeah, that's really cool. We also have a climate science project, which is called Clothing for Climate. And I'm really particular about this one. They're all great, but for me personally, it's really changed the way I view fashion, and it's really, really compelling. So I'm hoping that a lot of students are gonna get involved in this one, because it's something to think about, stuff I didn't know.
Yes, this is a great project that encourages students to learn about the science behind climate change and the impact our clothing system has on the environment, and then take action to help reduce those impacts. So the action piece is very important in this Clothing for Climate project. So there will be 4 topics available in this particular project. So 2 are available now. The first topic is called Clothing and Climate Change, which is an introductory topic to the project. And new for the fall, we have a second topic that's called Clothing and Water Systems. So it will cover content such as microplastic, water pollution, what clothes are made of, and the life cycle of clothes. So in addition, the water systems topic was designed to interweave principles of Indigenous ways of knowing, including land-based learning, community connections, and showcasing the work of Indigenous individuals and organizations. So for example, we feature one of the world's leading youth environmental activists named Autumn Peltier, who is also known as the Water Protector. She actively fights for water rights for Indigenous peoples and is currently petitioning for clean, accessible drinking water for every person in Canada. So in an address to the United Nations, Autumn ended with the words, "When we stand together as one, we are one voice and one nation." Very powerful.
Yeah, it's so wonderful that we're really putting reconciliation into action. Love that. Okay, so moving on, let's look at what we have for programs and resources available to support educators. So our professional learning program is organized into learning pathways. The learning pathways are a mix of required and optional learning experiences through various modes of delivery. So we've got live and self-paced. The learning pathways allows educators of all levels to participate in the journey towards certification in STEM-based concepts by following the work pathways that we see on the screen: STEM cross-curricular, STEM focused, globally connected, and technology enhanced.
And on our website, you will see that we have an educator course catalog. In this catalog, educators have access to the learning pathways, self-paced courses, and recordings of past live sessions. We also offer professional learning group sessions where you can book virtual or in-person sessions. And just like we have engaging events for students, we also have engaging events for educators. So all events earn steps towards your learning pathways journey. So the first event on this slide is called Live STEM, which are co-learning broadcasts. So these broadcasts are embedded professional learning opportunities for educators to learn alongside their students. This is a unique opportunity, this type of event. So as you can see here, on November 1st and 2nd, we will have a live STEM for grades 1 to 3 about promoting computational thinking skills. We actually just finished hosting a live STEM for grades 7 to 9 for the Clothing for Climate project that I just mentioned, and Tiffany was a part of that, a big part of that. So thank you, Tiffany. I'm sure all the educators and students are thanking you for that. But just would like to let you know that just like with the student events, we also offer recordings of our educator events for registered participants, but you can also access these live events from our educator course catalog. So there's no need to miss out on any of our great events. Next, we have Webinar Wednesdays that are offered on Wednesday evenings. So this webinar series explores topics such as digital literacy, climate science, and the Sustainable Development Goals. So I just put on the slide here a few examples coming up this fall. So we have Integrating Math and Nature in October. November, we have Create a Bee House, as well as Shaping an Unbiased Story with Data. So lastly, we have Coffee and a Keynote, which are live webinars that are offered monthly on Saturday mornings, where experts speak about a variety of current STEM and education topics. Each webinar is hosted by Dr. Alec Kouros. So our next Coffee and a Keynote will be held on Saturday, November 26th, with educator Nat Banting, who's an award-winning math teacher and blogger from Saskatoon. He recently received the Prime Minister's Certificate of Excellence in STEM. In the session, we will unpack the power of asking students to be mathematical designers and not simply mathematical describers. So that's it for our professional learning offerings for the fall.
Thanks, Adele. So as an educator, this is a real deal for me. It really is. Let's Talk Science provides educational resources like articles for students and videos, image banks, all kinds of great stuff found directly on the website. I can't say this enough. They're curriculum aligned, and you can search by grade level, category, or keyword.
Fantastic. I agree, 100%, Leah. And we also offer a wealth of career resources directly from our website. So students can explore a wide variety of STEM careers, including careers in the skilled trades. So the goal is that students will be able to see themselves in STEM careers. So our career resources include career profiles. Currently we have over 600 now, so lots for students to learn from. Lesson plans for educators. We have engaging videos like That's a Real Job, as you can see there on the screen, and competition opportunities. So an example of a career competition opportunity is our Let's Talk Careers event, in which we have partnered with Engineers Canada, Skills Canada, and Chatter High. So this competition is an opportunity for students and schools across Canada to win prizes while becoming more informed about career and post-secondary options after high school. So the fall session runs from October 17th to November 15th. There'll be another one in the spring, but again, putting on your radar, the fall session is October 17th to November 15th.
Wow. I don't think we can pack anything else in here. We really ripped through that and we ripped through it quickly. So again, I invite and encourage everybody to visit our website and have a look more deeply into all of this really great stuff. There's so much to explore. And in the spirit of collaboration and gratitude, we'd like to acknowledge that our STEM programming and resources would not be possible without the partnership of our many generous donors. So thank you. Thank you to all these people you see on the screen for helping us bring these wonderful resources to you guys. We're going to talk about our newsletter now. We'd like to continue to support you, and it's really important that you stay in the know because there's so much going on, and we're constantly creating new resources and new programs and new offerings and new really cool things for you to bring to your classroom and engage your students. Again, we invite and encourage you to sign up for the newsletter so you can stay connected and be in the know with everything that's going on. And you can always reach out to Adele and I directly if you have any questions, or you would like to talk about how we can help you in a deeper way beyond your classroom and maybe with your board and some of your peers. So here's our contact information now on the screen. So please take note and feel free to contact us at any time.
Yes, thank you so much for listening, watching, and taking your time. We know how busy everyone is, so really do appreciate it.